So why did I change the strategy of how I wanted my company to run? The reason being is because credit repairs has such a bad rap because of all the people out there doing things illegally. I wanted to kind of branch myself away from that. And I wanted to kind of show you guys exactly what you guys need to do to help change your pattern, right? Because we're trying to do a pattern interrupt. We want to make sure that what we're doing is going to be efficient, it's going to be effective, right? Because if it's not efficient and it's not effective and you're not doing things the way that we're trying to coach you on how to do those things, you're not going to be in a position that you want to be in, right? I've had several hundred clients go through our program. And I would probably say when we're calling out our credit building blueprint, not everybody is doing those things, right? Not everybody is doing those. And when I'm recommending something for you to do, it's not just to say, hey, go spend this money. It's hey, go invest this money. Because once you do that, it's going to help your credit profile, right? And sometimes that's what you need to do is you need to build a credit profile. Sometimes people come to me and they want to get started with a credit repair program. When I look at their credit, they don't need credit repair. They just need a little bit of financial advice. I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, look, your credit cards are overutilized. If you pay them down to this amount, your scores are going to jump up, right? So that's what we're doing. We wanted to take a different approach from the typical credit repair companies. Hey, let me go ahead and mail out a letter for you. Although they can be effective, they can also not be effective, right? And if you're not going to go over and over, if you're just going to give up after a couple of rounds, credit repair is not going to be a good fit for you no matter where you go, right? So I wanted to kind of bring this portion of the video to kind of explain to you guys that if you're dealing with a company, right, why are you dealing with them, right? You want to make sure that you're going to do your research, you're going to do your due diligence, you're going to do your homework to make sure that that company is going to be effective for you, right? Now, if you're dealing with a company and they say, hey, I want you to tell me what's wrong with this account, I don't believe, in my opinion, I don't believe that that's a good company for you to work with. And the reason being is because if you're working with that type of company, they're not educating you on the proper things, right? When you're working with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at your credit report, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where all the errors are at, right? So when you're doing credit repair is just explaining the different laws that are involved with trying to get an item removed, right? So the law says that if there's something on your credit report, that it has to be verifiable, it has to be accurate, and it has to be reporting within the time limit based on the type of reporting that's being reported to the credit report. So by knowing these things, you want to look at the credit report and say, hey, after looking at my credit report, I see that you're reporting this information to 3 different credit bureaus, right? When I looked at the information, if it's going to be accurate, it has to be accurate on all 3. It can't be accurate on one and not the other 2, and vice versa, right? So what we're doing is we're actually challenging the information that's being reported to your credit report. And based on the challenge, they're going to respond. More than likely, they're going to verify that the information that they're reporting is in fact correct and accurate. So with that being said, now we have to go to the furnisher and request verification of what they're reporting. Okay, most of the times they're not going to give all the information needed for us to verify that what they're reporting is in fact accurate, right? Because we're going to ask for a lot of information. Okay, so a lot of companies don't go to the furnishers. They don't go to the collection agencies. They don't go to the original creditors. They're not exercising your rights according to the FACT Act, Section 312. So a lot of these things that aren't being done for you is doing you a disservice, right? So when you work with me, that's my job, right? That's my expertise. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've trained dozens and dozens and dozens, well over 100 credit repair companies on how to effectively do credit repair, how to effectively run a credit repair company, right? So I've done that, right? That's in my rear view. Now I'm more on changing the relationship, right? I want to make sure that when you deal with me, that you're actually understanding exactly what's going on with your credit, right? Why did we get here? How did we get here, right? And we're not going to know these things until you actually have the budget in place. That's why when you deal with me, the first thing that we're going to push you through is starting to work on your budget, right? It doesn't have to be 100% correct the very first time, but as you continually move through that and continually work on getting that updated, your numbers are going to start falling in line. You're going to start seeing where you're falling short or where you have an excess of income, right? And the goal here is to try to have more income at the end of the month rather than more month at the end of the income, right? We want to make sure that you're not running out of money before, your next payday, right? We want to make sure that you have enough to pay your rent, your car payment, your insurance, food, electricity, all the household bills, all the things needed, getting your laundry done. There's a laundry list of things that you need to do, and most people don't take this into consideration, right? Especially when going out to buy a car. Like one of the programs that we deal with here for helping our clients that want to purchase a car is we're going to put them through our car buying workshop, right? Because there's certain things that you need to understand before you even go buy a car, and companies aren't doing that, right? What we're doing is we're going above and beyond, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to interrupt the industry, right? Not just companies around me. I'm trying to interrupt the whole industry, like Turo did with the rent-a-car business, like Airbnb did with the hospitality business. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to interrupt and show you, hey, there's a different way. Let me show you my way. Let you make the educated decision, right? Because I'm going to show you, right? I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, because there's companies out there that once they start working on your credit, it's going to be hard for you to get back in contact with them. Nationwide companies, right? So these are the types of things that you need to look out for when you're dealing with trying to find a company that you want to work with, a company that's reputable, right? You want to look at not only just the reviews, but if you happen to know somebody who's gone through them, ask them about the things I'm talking about, right? Are they having you put together a budget? Are they making you pick your dispute reasons, right? Because when you pick your dispute reasons based on what they're offering, it doesn't have all the information that you need, right? Like a lot of times these companies will say, one of the reasons is the account doesn't belong to me. The account belongs to a family member with a similar name. Things like this. When you're doing credit repair, all you have to do is be honest, right? Because you're not supposed to lie. The company isn't supposed to lie for you, right? And that's why you go into a company to help you with your credit, is because they're supposed to have the expertise. But if they're having you choose the reason and not saying, hey, we're going to challenge the information on this reporting right here because of these things right here are not accurate, right? What we do is we provide you with an error detection report, and everything's going to be highlighted to show you that, hey, these are the things that are inaccurate that's on your credit report. And remember what when we go back to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says if an item is on your credit report, it has to be reported accurately and be verifiable and report within the time statute based on whatever is being reported. So to give you an example, a collection can report on your credit report for 7 years, an inquiry for 2 years, right? So these are the types of things that you need to understand. I want to try to help educate you on that, right? Try to help you get to a better place to help you understand more of what's going on. So that way you have an understanding of what's going on, right? Because at the end of the day, again, I say it over and over, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to help put you in a better financial position, not just for your credit, which is going to help you financially, but also just so that you don't go through the same situations that you've gone through when you first start with me. So hopefully that makes sense. just wanted to kind of like break that part down for you to make sure that when you do choose a company that you're wanting to work with, that you are getting all the facts and not just partial, right? So ask them the difficult questions, make them answer you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's what's going to be best for you and your family. Okay, so that being said, thanks again for listening to me, right? Because I want to help educate you, and that's what it is.